jokes we know. Together we are ready for the show. Chats on fire, the crowd goes wild. Maggie's clips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climbing, views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. Maggie's got that wit so quick. We tune in daily for our fix. Community that stands so strong. Laughing, chatting all day long. From sunrise to the longest nights. Leanie's tales put out our lights. On a coins, Leanie, life's no joke. Spark that cig and take a toke. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climbing, views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show is always near. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no loud. Maggie's clips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. The best damn show is always here. The best damn show is always near.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. You guys will, I know this is a different time altogether for me. So the three people that are here, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Nobody's used to me going live at this time. So hopefully everybody will get the memo. Hopefully they clicked their bells so that they will be rung. We'll give it a little bit of time to see, give people time to get here. I'm also waiting on a damn pizza. I'm so sick of eating crap food. Oh, something's got to change in my life. I say I don't like to cook, and I don't. But then I get busy with stuff that goes on in life, and I just don't have time to cook. And frankly, I'm sick of sandwiches. And I mean, it's been almost 2 months, and Beefcake has been over at his parents' house taking care of them. So I haven't had to cook. I'm not going to cook just for me. Why would I? Nina, hello. Good to see you. And I'm finding myself getting home right around dark every day from the in-laws' house, and I just grabbed some crap food on the way home. I'm so sick of crap food. Hi, Aquarius. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate everybody for being here. I don't think I have any mods in here yet, so I want to wait just a minute or two for that. And hopefully we can get the show on the road. I'm never live at this time. TLC is me. Hello, my friend. I hope you're well, girl. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. This is not the time that I usually go. I'm usually in the daytime, or mainly I'm on late at night. So there's that. Have y'all been receiving tons and tons of messages today. Oh my God, you guys, I've gotten so many messages and alerts for all the crap that's going on here, that's gone on today. It's insane. It's insane. If there's any mods in chat, please let me know. I know you would anyways, but please let me know. I don't want to do this without at least one mod in here. I don't think I've ever done a live without a mod. Damn. Hopes is here. Hey girl, there's Rizzo. All right, so we've got two. Hopes, if you cannot stay, I totally understand. Um totally. I get why this is, triggering for some people, and one of them is you, and there's no hard feelings about that at all. I totally get it. Totally. Rizzo, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Gage, whenever Gage comes in, please let me know, or chat is not moving, so I'll probably be able to see him. Hi Rondi, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Y'all, I've got notes after notes. As soon as I got off here, I had to handle more family stuff. And then, of course, I started going over, digging into, seeing if any of the key players in this have, put out any statements. I found a couple things. Oh, I have to share that. Hold on. Let me get this off my screen. Oh, listen, I've been saying there's more DNA, and I'm going to stand by that. There's more DNA. All right. Let's put something in the background. Let's see. I don't know why that didn't go in the background. Hold on just a second. I don't know why. I don't know. StreamYard's been acting crazy. Let me put that up really quick. Nina says, have not confirmed, but Inside Edition just reported dog hair was Murphy's. Again, I'm only sharing what Inside Edition is broadcasting. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be. A dog would not be. This would not be the first time that a dog has solved a crime. We all know that. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. We don't care which one. Y'all could hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Nobody cares. Just let the algorithm know that there might be one or two other people out there that need a dose of According to Leanie. Here we go. There's going to be so much coming out. Yes, Rondi, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I wish it was going to come out in the way that we all thought in the beginning that it was going to come out. But however it comes out, before we used to say, what about this? What about this? And we're like, well, guys, we'll have to wait. We're going to find out when trial comes, and now we can't say that anymore. So now the questions that are left without answers, we're just going to have to say, well, hopefully somebody leaks it, right? Don't think Blondie's not going to be out there looking for the leaks, because I am. So if any of y'all get leaks, my email is accordingtoleanie@gmail.com. You send me the links, because I would love it. Would be so satisfying to know that Murphy helped solve the crime. Amen to that. I just want, nothing would make me as a person more happy to know that the judge tomorrow says, you got 5 days, produce the knife and the clothing you were wearing, and we will proceed with your plea agreement. If not, we're going to trial. That would make me, I think I could be completely happy with that, because there would have to be DNA on the knife. We know that, from 4 victims, and on his clothing. Blood would still be on the clothing of the 4 victims as well. And then that would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, hopefully to everybody, that he is the perpetrator of this crime. He's the monster that a lot of us have always thought him to be. And maybe it will shut some people up. I don't think it's going to shut everybody up. The pro-burgers are still continuing to say the only reason that he is going to sign this plea agreement is because they were going to put him to death for police and whoever else planting evidence against him. So he has to save his own life, and hopefully it comes out in the future. And then you still got the people out there that are saying it's a hoax. I mean, I didn't know Idaho was so dangerous that we had to do a government hoax over in Idaho. I didn't know that. They're not really dead story is floating around again. It's shameful. Yes, that pisses me off. Listen, the whole hoax thing pisses me off more than the pro-burgers do. Not everything is a conspiracy. Not everything. Rose Petal, hello, my love. I hope you're doing well. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. I am so sick of listen, there are conspiracies in the world. I admit it. I admit it. Some have taken us for a ride. I admit it. But anybody who believes this to be a hoax anywhere, I'm going to need you to come on my panel. And I'm going to need you to tell me why somebody would make up a hoax about 4 college students being murdered. What, I mean, I feel like all the other hoaxes that I believe were a hoax and they were total conspiracy, there was a reason behind it. Was it a good reason? No. Was it still vile? Yes. Can I justify it? No. But there's proof that they were complete hoaxes and they had a reason for it. So I'm going to need all of you people that believe that somebody made this all up. I need to know for what reason. Because and after you're done giving me that reason, and I prove you wrong with factual information, not any of my theories, but factual information, I need you to publicly apologize to the families. So annoying. Maggie, you will always have the crown in my eyes. It's funny because she could come to chat and it shows, oh, she's coming in as Mags though. Because when you come in as according to Leanie and you're just hanging out in chat, you don't get the crown. Lori, said there was more evidence and was upset on Twitter. There's absolutely more evidence. Absolutely. And another thing I'm so sick of hearing, you guys, I don't know about you, but how expensive it is to see a trial to the end. So what you're telling me, here's what you're telling me. Here's what I hear when that's being said. What I hear is these 4 lives have a price tag on their head. That's what I hear. In other words, if we could get them to give us a guilty, then why spend the money now? Well, how are we going to justify all the other money that's spent? So all of us have a price tag on our head. You know, you're only worth so much money, right? It was too expensive to finalize this, to take him to court. And it was just too damn expensive. Y'all, don't get me started on where we are spending our money at, because that's a whole different ball game of lives for me. And you're telling me that these 4 kids weren't worth spending the money on? Mm, that doesn't sit well with me. Hope says it's just awful. Rizzo says, I can't imagine what all evidence they have. OBK knows it too. Maybe he doesn't think he's slick. Maybe he's just a book smart dummy. Listen, um, I honestly just don't know. I mean, I've never been to college. I've got college courses that I've taken outside college, but just I've gotten credits to college for some of the classes that I've taken through my years. I don't even have a high school diploma. I got my good enough diploma, my GED. Okay. But I feel like I'm smart enough that if you give me, if I take a class, I could probably pass it at the low end of it. Does that mean that I'm an intelligent person? No. Uh, I think his ego was way bigger than, yes, he has a high IQ, but I think his ego was bigger than, I mean, he's just dumb, right? He might be intelligent according to the numbers, but he's fucking dumb. Dumb. Sorry. For all those that are new here, Leanie cusses a little bit. Okay, that's a lie. Leanie cusses a lot, a whole lot, like too much. I'm a total potty mouth. I'm vile. Do not bring me home to your parents for dinner. Your mom's kicking me out. Rondi says, Leanie, when the girls are talked about so nasty and what they think we're into makes my blood boil. Amen. And listen, all you pro burgers out there and all you hoax people, you owe the surviving roommates an apology. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link for 12 gauge. Y'all, this is just for 12 gauge. I want to thank him for coming on. And before he comes up, let me just say this. The mods already know it. Everybody's welcome to their own opinion. You absolutely do not have to agree with me. You absolutely do not have to agree with panel guests. What you have to do is be respectful. There's always a way to put things that is not condemning or disrespectful to people. And that's all I ask you to do. Keep it respectful, keep it classy in chat. If not, the mad mods are trigger happy, and we don't ask you to, well, they're nicer than me. I would just be like, bye. The mods, they're like, are you gonna settle down? Because we're probably gonna kick you out of here. I wouldn't give you a warning. So this is your warning. There, I don't put up with anybody being disrespectful to panel guests, no matter how, whether you agree with what they're saying or not. They're the guest here at this channel, and I don't put up with anybody disrespecting the mods. So keep that in mind before you type. Welcome, my friend.
How's it going?
It's going wonderful.
I'm not
I
used to seeing myself that big. I mean,
Oh, well, it's because well, it's a thing.
oh,
Uh,
that one better. I'll just go ahead and use the avatar.
oh, I don't mind you using the other one. I have to wait till my baby child gets out of college before I can actually like do live. I've snuck around the block a couple times and done things like on other channels, like cammed up on other channels that he doesn't know I hang at. But my boys are very, very protective of their mama. and they were pissed that I had my own pictures on here. It's a whole thing. Let me. I'll turn up the sound really quick. Let us know how we're coming in. Rondi says Gage is a little low. Do you want to try to turn it up, Gage, or you want me to do it for you?
Well, I'm loud over here. Maybe I'm just not talking that loud. Can you
Okay,
hear
let
me
me.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Um,
Okay.
well,
Okay. Can everybody hear me fine?
I turned you up. That should be better, right, guys? How does that sound?
Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2.
Are we coming in loud and clear now? Hello, Aussie True Crime, Jeff. I saw who else did I just see? Let me just say hi. Joni, thank you. Thank you guys for being here. I have the best mods ever. Love you guys so much. Thank you, Gage, for coming on here. Can I call you 12? Can I call you Gage? Can I call you 12 Gage? What should I call you?
Whichever you'd like to call me. Just, don't call me late for dinner.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't ever cook. So, but you cook dinner, I'll come and do dishes because I
All
like
right,
doing
all
dishes.
right. Sounds
All right.
great. Sounds great. Um,
Let
well,
me
you're
ask you a
welcome.
couple.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I
Oh
was at work
man,
earlier.
this is a real treat. This is a real treat. Can I ask you a couple questions? I sat for an hour and I have always have a handy dandy notebook with me at all times. And so
Okay.
you have gotten 3 pages in my handy dandy notebook.
Wow.
I know. I come prepared.
3 pages.
3 pages. Hi, Miss Donna. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Wild Angel, thank you for being here. Y'all hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I really don't give a damn. Just let the algorithm know that we're here. Let me ask you about your channel. How long have you been on YouTube and what's your channel about?
Well, it looked like I put up my first video from when I started my channel. I uploaded it a while ago and it showed me doing my first video December 16th, 2023.
Wow.
And my channel mostly consists of true crime. I do a little bit about missing people. I do addiction and recovery. Um, I do music videos that I make. I write the songs and let the AI make the music and sing the lyrics. So um,
Nice.
I do quite a bit on my channel. It's a one stop shop, if you will. I don't know.
I like it. Can I ask you what made you start a YouTube channel? What was the thing?
I got tired of going into chats and nobody acknowledging me, or
Oh,
or
I
getting chastised by the people. Now I didn't know then they were moderators, but it's like I would say something and I'd get attacked for it. Like I
mm,
was, just saying, blasphemous stuff. It just so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start my own channel. That way nobody can tell me what to do.
nice. Let me just say hi to Just Becca. Good to see you, love bug. Thank you, Hopes, for dropping 12 Gauges channel. If the mods don't mind, every now and then just keep dropping it for people that are coming and going. And he's been very supportive of this channel, and I appreciate it so much. It sounds very familiar. Do you think because of going through that experience with other mods and going through not being going into chats that weren't exactly welcoming, did it is was that the foundation for yours? Like you knew what you wanted in a channel, and obviously it wasn't that.
Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Some of my professional accolades, I am a therapist. I'm a drug and alcohol therapist, and I've worked with criminal offenders for the last 25 years. And so I was going to school at the time. I started school, and I thought, you know what? What a better way to learn what I'm reading and studying than to just make videos about it so that I can talk
Wow.
about it, I can visualize it, and I can put the words into action, so other people can learn.
Wow, I love that so much. I did not know that about you.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's impressive. You're much more qualified at this than I am. Much
And
more.
I just recently obtained my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So
Woo!
2 years, 2 years ago, when I started my channel, this was the fruition. I was waiting for the trial, and I was counting it down. It's going to be August. So I thought I'll be done in June. So perfect timing.
Wow, that is incredible. Wow. So nobody can ever say you don't have any kind of qualifications like they say of, like someone says of me, which is
Oh,
true.
people tell me all the time, Lean. They say paper doesn't mean anything. Education like that doesn't mean anything. Um, there's corrupt people everywhere and all this other stuff. It just I hear it all over the YouTube streets. They've chastised my education and my platform and everything else, but I still keep going.
Who the hell they think they are? Send them over here to me. I'd like to talk to them.
They think they're experts, Lean.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is they don't even have any credentials. And that's why they're saying, oh, your paper doesn't mean anything. Why? Because they didn't take the time to get a paper.
Right.
Let me say hi to those that are coming in, those that are up in the naked bushes. We appreciate you guys being here. This is 12 Gauge up on panel with me. Joni was already subscribed to you, so that is awesome. April is back. Bees is back. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being in here. All right, so we've got that out of the way now. For those that don't know you, and even I've listened to your chat even before you ever, I think before you ever known me, because I scroll around,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah,
Oh,
I sit in bushes. I sit in those places and I listen, and I click out when I'm just like, oh, that's bullshit. I'm not listening to it anymore. And then when if I hear something that I think, for me, it all comes down to facts. It
right.
all comes down to integrity. It all comes down to being truthful. If you don't know it, say, guys, I don't freaking even know who's got what. If it comes down to this is what I think, I say, I got an opinion, or this is what I think. It's not factual, guys. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's okay.
Exactly.
But there's too many creators out there that are putting it down as factual because it comes out of their mouth.
Exactly. Well, I mean, also to be fair, like you said, you're less qualified or whatever. I've heard you speak. I've heard your shows. You have a good handle on it. You don't you don't spread misinformation. You're quick to say, "Well, I don't really know about that, but I will look it up." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you're not one that just gives a blanket answer if you don't know, because I mean that's the difference between integrity and people that just want to appease their crowd.
right. Exactly. I think so
Mhm.
too. I don't, well, my other problem is I don't like to be wrong. I'll admit when
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but I definitely, there was a couple things that I had wrong from yesterday until the live I did this afternoon. And I had to tell everybody, look, I had that wrong. This is what I have found out since. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong, but I definitely
Mhm.
don't want to give someone information that they're going to run with, and then we have to correct everything.
I do want to give a shout out to a couple people that have been by me, through the tough times and kept me going. Jeff H started
Absolutely.
started pretty much giving me a shout out from the earliest days. We used to stay up late at night doing lives and just talking like old friends. And I didn't know Jeff from Adam, and we just hit it off. And we would discuss this case and for hours and hours. And it just he grounded that other part that where I'm quick to want to just jump here, jump there. He's that, well, let's think about this. And it would aggravate me. But, throughout the times we made it work. And another time, and another person I'd like to thank, she hasn't been around me as long, but she's a great researcher. Lean, if you don't know who Warning Label Nina is, I mean, she has a channel on her own. And obviously, my girlfriend has been by my side. I have some great support. And it's been tough. It's been tough. It gets to you after a while. It does get to you.
Sorry, a very important thing just happened. Pizza was delivered, and I freaking hate pizza, but I'm so sick of everything else. All right. Wow, that's really nice. Nina, I think came over here with you and Jeff, and I watched her. I watched you up on her panel the other night.
Yeah.
I just listened, and she is a great research. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath just from freaking getting pizza and my mouth's watering. My mouth's watering.
Man.
But anyways, yeah, I like it. And Jeff, I remember when Jeff first came into this channel. I think he'd been here before once or twice, but it wasn't. And he didn't stay because it's trash. We're trash here. But anyways, when he came in when I was doing Coburger Wednesday, I was so honored because, like I said, I've hung out in chats before. Some I had to leave because I can't handle the drama. And then there's some I stick around, and I always see Jeff in those chats, and I'm like, and I would watch him, because I'm watching the chat too, and I always thought he's so damn smart, and he knows what he's talking about. I've seen him up on a couple panels, and I always thought, man, maybe one day he'll come to my channel. And then he showed up. I was like, Jeff, you don't know me, but I know you. And I was so happy to see him because I wanted to talk to him. So I thought that was really cool.
His head's inflating in the chat. He's gonna explode.
I know, but I have to be real. Can we? Yeah. I feel like we broke the ice a little bit.
Yes.
I think because for me, when I go up, I don't do a lot of panels. Just because I was trying to get to 1,000 subs, and I wanted to do it very I wanted to do it from my channel, and we did. So I tried to work my channel a lot. Now that I'm at 1,000 subs, I've met my goal. So whatever happens from here, I'm good. I don't care. So I worked my channel. So I would like to go to channels that I trust, and that, think that you don't have to agree with the way that I think, but at least you know how to put it. You know what I mean?
I do understand everything you're saying. I agree with it. If I didn't, I would definitely let you know. But,
thank you for that.
But I go into a live kind of like when I started, like when there's 5 people in the crowd. It doesn't matter if there's 5 people or if there's 100 or there's 200.
Right.
I've had big chats before. They haven't been so big recently, but to me, I'd rather know the people that are in the chat, to know that they're invested, rather than just have a whole bunch of people just scrolling through. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I have always said that I don't put up with crap. I don't put up with disrespect. If you're gonna insult me, at least let me know you're insulting me, and then I'm okay with it. I guess I will just handle it. I don't like it. We have a lot of fun here. We also are a one-stop shop. We do everything. And I definitely don't put up with disrespect from the people who choose to hang here almost every time I'm live. And I've always said I will get rid of 5 people that are being disrespectful to anybody in chat or anybody on panel, to keep that one person who's always been faithful, even if they don't agree with me, but they've always been faithful, and they've always been here for the channel. Then to keep those 5 people that will just tear up your channel and make it into every other channel that's out there, and make your channel grow. I'm not interested. I don't care.
I hear
Uh,
you. I hear you. You
I
have
want to
some
give
more
a
questions?
Yes, I want to give a shout out really quick because I saw the godfather of the channel come in, RC. Thank you for being here. And the matriarch of our channel, Miss Barbara, just came in. It's good to see you both. Thank you very much. I do have some questions, and then I'm going to play a game with you. It's one of my
Oh,
favorite
okay.
games.
All
All
right.
right. All right. Tell me the most shocking thing that has come out of this just since we've heard that there was a plea deal presented. What shocked you the most? Was it the plea deal itself or something you've learned since?
Um, I would, to be honest, I would say the response from people, the
Really, in what
response,
way?
the anger on both sides. It's almost like you have some that are angry, the families are angry with good reason,
Mm,
but you have the other side who are angry because he pleaded and he didn't go to the trial. I mean, especially when they were just always talking about we want a fair trial, we want him to, be innocent, blah blah blah. We want to know if he did it. Well, now you know, and they're mad about it. I mean, that just blows my mind. I can't get over that.
Do you think that it's because I think I've gone through every emotion. Do you think it's because there are people that first, let me ask it to you this way. Do you feel invested in this in this crime?
I do. I do.
In what
Uh,
way?
well, the reason that I even started kind of investigating the crime was due to a substance use. I could relate to that. Um, the mental health aspect. I've dealt with people that have had mental health issues, and just the psychological part of it all. That was intriguing to me. Like, could it be possible that such an individual could have such hatred in their heart to go to a place that he, at the time, I didn't think he knew anybody there, and we still don't know that. But to be able to go in, do what he did that quickly, and then leave, I thought, man, I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out.
Mm,
Driving me crazy.
mm. So, do you think that the whole like everybody's mad for whatever their reason's going to be? Do you think it's because we all probably got a little bit too invested in it?
I believe it's like the unrealistic expectation of it all. It's like I believe that there's a lot of people that had unrealistic expectations of what the end result was going to be. I've read a lot of comments where people feel lied to from the defense, like um, Anne lied to us. She said he was innocent, and now he's pleading out. They feel betrayed.
Yeah.
They really believed her when she said, "My client is innocent."
Well,
So go ahead.
let me jump into that and get your opinion on that. So, they said they had 4 people that they wanted to bring into the trial. But yet now we know for sure that Ann Taylor knew he was guilty. What does that say about her character of throwing out 4 more names of people she knew was not involved in this crime, but she was willing to do it to get the death penalty taken off?
It doesn't. I mean, as far as her doing her job, then she's doing her job. But ethically, in the public eye, I could see that was very crappy. That was really shit. That was very shitty of her, especially the guy that was at the grocery store. And she even put his name out there. Can you imagine looking at Kaylee for 5 minutes and then not having the
I
will to say hello? The next thing you know, you're implicated in a quadruple murder. I mean, that's terrible.
I know it is terrible. That's what I mean by what I was asking you. What is the one thing that you were shocked by the most since this came out? And I'm as we're learning more and more, if you're paying attention, I think people are just looking for the smoking gun, but I'm reading between the lines. So when
Right.
I realized, oh my God, they were willing to throw 4 more people out there. They didn't give a damn about their lives. They were the ones that was planting 4 people into this case. And they didn't give a damn, all because of one person, and they want the death penalty taken off. Y'all, that's no character. That's not integrity.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
you don't, to be able to defend somebody, that doesn't mean you will get 4 innocent people to defend your client.
But yet
I'm sorry.
people were praising her efforts relentlessly. Like she's gonna bring it to the prosecution. She's gonna show them that, what she's got and this and that. It's like she showed you what she had. She didn't have anything. She didn't have
Yeah,
anything.
she knew they were toast. I think she's always known they were toast. And
Of course.
listen, I'm not going to fight the woman for trying to get an extension, other than there was no reason to do that other than more money. I'm just going to
Right.
say it. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't falter for that, because that keeps him out of prison a little bit longer too. The longer that this trial stretches out, he's actually in a jail cell, not in, he's safer, right? Whereas
Right.
now all bets are off when he gets thrown in population. So, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Let me jump into chat really quick. Nina says Koberger is a Darwinistic, misogynistic narcissist. I'm sorry. I don't normally read these kind of these big ass words. Libertarian with all kinds of psych problems, that is revealing in this. Listen, our one of our good friends here, Anne from Anne's Place, she would be so happy that I think I said all of those words right. She's a teacher. Way to go, Nina. Those are some big words. Jeff
Right.
H says, uh, April T, I even heard one of the biggest pro burgers around say it was the defense that suggested it. That was a dinky, in my opinion. Now, the last I heard, or how I've taken what I've heard so far, is that the prosecution offered it. Nobody has, we've not seen any documents. That is only hearsay. That's why it's still, like, some people are saying the defense did it, some are saying the prosecution did it. We're taking out what Steve Consalvis is saying, right? And we're making it our own, kind of like the whole DoorDash delivery person for years and years and years. Well, not years and years and years. That's exaggerating. But for all this time, I thought it was a guy, just by little things that were said. And we have since found out absolutely not. It was a female, right? So,
Yeah.
it,
I
go
guess
ahead.
the biggest thing, as you were asking, not what I found out. One thing that I'm glad about is I'm sick of the up and down, the emotional roller coaster. What's true, what's not. You wait for a document to drop, you read it, you interpret it, and still there seems to be people that don't read the same document as you the same way. It's just
Amazing.
like two different cases.
Exactly. It's like I said many times, we could be standing in the room and I could say, hey, Gage, the wall's green. And you'd be like, no, Leanie, it's blue. And I'm like, no, it's green. And you're like, we're looking at the same damn wall. That is cobalt blue. And I'm like, no, it's hunter green. And you're wondering what the hell is going on. Right? Warning label Nina, who also has a channel, you guys are welcome to drop that, said state set a firm deadline of point of no return. Negotiations off the table. That date came last week, so the defense went to state. Well, I guess we're gonna have to find out, because to me it's just hearsay. I'll wait documents. We'll find out the court hearing tomorrow. Are you going to be live tomorrow, Gage? During the court, the whole court thing. Uh-oh, did I lose you? We lost him just a second, guys. Give us just a second. There he is. He's back. All right, Gage.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Are you going to be live tomorrow during court? Uh-oh.
We're having storms here, so if I keep getting them,
that's okay. I'll wait. I'm a patient kind of girl sometimes, but I want to get the stuff out of you, so I'll be real patient. Are you going to be live during the court hearing tomorrow?
See, I've heard that the defense brought it up.
And see, I heard it was the prosecution. But we're taking it from how I'm taking it is what Steve Goncalves is saying.
Right.
So, until, we're not saying anything is fact. We're just saying what we've heard. So we'll find out. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you going to be live tomorrow? I still didn't hear the answer.
Oh, what tomorrow? Wednesday?
Tomorrow, yeah. And it's going to be the court hearing.
If I do go live, I'm not going on very long. There's really not much to really talk about unless there's some substantial thing. If he does happen to confess before the court or whatever, then I'll go longer.
Okay.
But just to cover him signing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jeff says, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'll be live. I've done every one of the court hearings, so
okay.
I got to see it to the end. Jeff says, I just saw Brian Inton report that Catherine Ramsland will be on News Nation talking about the case tonight. Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to need to know the time. Jeff, come on. We need details.
Wow.
There is warning label Nina's link. Y'all please sub up to her. She's like right-hand woman to 12 gauge. I did see a clip, says Jeff, where Brian Inton said the prosecution extended the offer to the defense. That's what I thought. I've got a couple things up here that I want to bring up. And Nina says, Leanie, it's like the green car. Yes. If you know, you know. If you don't, you haven't been paying attention to the whole green car theory. Jeff's got a whole thing on that. So good. April says my parents got into over a color of a bag after vacation. One said olive green and one said blue. Right. It's just the way it is. It's like, I'm like, can't you guys? We're reading the same damn thing. How are you getting something else out of this than me? And Rizzo says it will be interesting to see BK's family if they even go at this point, right? They even go.
Right.
Let me ask you another question. This brings me to another one. Did you always, since you've been covering the case, did you always believe Brian to be the perpetrator?
Yes.
Really?
At the very beginning, I thought there might have been two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't understand the concept of the parallel crime. I thought parallel meant, there was one team that killed two of the people one particular time frame. Two people killed the other two at a particular time frame.
Oh wow!
But other than that, I just over time I never wavered once I just got onto Brian, because too many things were just pointing his direction. Because if it was another person, we would know it. They
I
would have
think
left.
so.
They would have left some kind of trace. I mean, the DoorDash driver would have seen two people in the car, not just one. She would have seen two vehicles if there were two vehicles. They're just too much. Too much. There would have been two vehicles coming in past. Simultaneously. There wasn't. We would have seen all this stuff.
Right. And it would have been on video, right? One following the other, or the other
Correct.
car coming in that's going to look suspicious. Miss Barbara says, I wouldn't go if I was his family. And then Nina puts in, here we go. It is confirmed. Koberger family's attending. Chapin family attending. Goncalves family attending. That's who I know is confirmed. Thank you, Nina. We appreciate that. April says, I hope we hear about all the evidence. I think there's going to be quite a few leaks if they keep some things under seal. I think a lot's going to come out, and I'm going to be looking for it. Y'all be in the dark web like crazy looking for this stuff. I am, because I'm nosy. I want to know.
Well,
All right.
if there is, if for some reason they don't speak on it tomorrow. Once he's sentenced, I don't believe they're going to seal the case.
You don't think any part of it'll be sealed, like maybe the pictures, or
I mean, possibly the autopsy, and maybe I don't know, just the autopsy, I believe. But as far as everything else, I think they need to just unseal it and give it to us straight. We're
right?
adults.
Just give it to us. I totally agree. I mean, you can choose to read it, or to be in a chat that's got it, or to view the pictures or any evidence. It's your choice. But I mean, that's the way our justice system is supposed to be. It's supposed to be transparent.
Well, you would think so. You would think so.
Right. Rondi says she thinks she would go. I would go. TLC says Brian Inton just reported that tomorrow Brian's parents will be at the hearing. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Nina says no allocation required, just yes or no answers from Hippler. Now that pisses me off slightly. I think you should have to say more than yes or no.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
I mean, he's getting exact. This, to me, the man got to pick his crimes. Remember, this wasn't a crime. It was a slew of crimes. 4 people are dead. That's crimes. Okay? He picked his crimes. Now he gets to pick which punishment he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Just by a yes or no answer? That wouldn't fly. Hippler, if you still want me to be a fan, you better listen to Leanie, okay? Because I'm a fan right now. You better make him say more than yes or no. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter, other than, we need to hear some answers. Most people, if they plea, they're allocated to, tell us about the crime.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just opened one of these pizza boxes. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm excited. But guess what? There's a brownie in here.
Oh, wow. You're making me hungry.
Beefcake did me right, 12 gauge. He's all the way an hour and 15 minutes away, ordering me a pizza and a brownie. What up? All right. Nina says they are sealing it due to the tort lawsuit. I mean, I don't know. There were some lawyers today that were saying on, what was it, News Nation, that the minute he signs his his plea agreement, that the gag order, everything is over. Now, can the judge in the tort lawsuit that will sit over the tort lawsuits that will be filed, or
I mean, they can seal whatever the lawsuits are considering, like that portion. But as far as the other evidence, I'm sure we'll get to see it.
Yeah. RC doesn't agree with my way of thinking about much, but he loves me. He just hates me. April T, can we can get the body cams. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? We can get the body cams of his arrest and more on statements at the scene. I personally would love the body cams of the scene. Now they could
Yeah.
listen. I want the full body cam because I'm just that disgusting of a person. But if they want to block out, the victims, I'm okay with that too. But I want to hear what the police are saying to each other. I want to hear what the background noise is saying. I just do, for no other reason than I want to know. Let me ask you this, 12 gauge. Do you think at this point a motive matters?
No. No.
Because a lot of people are saying, I want to know the motive. I could give shit less. What does it matter at this point? I don't think the man has one. He hasn't given one yet. I think he's just got problems.
You know, I posted something today and I said, it's time to stop talking about him after he signs and start talking about the victims because it's their justice that needs to be heard. I've
Right.
heard so many people glorify this man. Well, he was brilliant. He was genius. He was this. He was that. But in the same breath saying, well, there's no way he could have done this because of this. There's no way he could have done this because of this. Well, make up your damn mind. Either he's one or the other.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
I didn't think of it that way.
if he's brilliant, he wasn't brilliant enough.
Wow.
You know, they were trying to make him so frail and so incompetent
Yeah.
in court. You know,
Yeah.
just based on his demeanor, looking back on it, it's almost like he knew. He knew he was running out of time. Like if you go back on the hearings, look at him. You know, he always had that stoic look, but he looked like he was really running out of time.
Yeah. DT True Love, good to see you. It has been a while. I hope you're well. We've missed you as well. Miss Barbara, the matriarch, says, this is my YouTube mama for those that don't know. Leanie wants to see those crime scene photos. I do. I absolutely do. God bless you.
Thank you.
Can you FOIA any of the information from the case? Now, I have been told that yes, and actually, Ashley Banfield said that she was going to. They have to wait until all of it's processed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll probably open it up, and you can FOIA, and it's going to come out. You guys, she said she's going to FOIA it.
Well, look at all the 70s and 80s crime that we watch on these videos.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hold back the crime scenes. You see blood on the bed. You see the victim laying there in their own blood. I mean,
Absolutely,
I
it's a
understand not
choice.
everybody wants to see that, but I mean, I would rather know exactly what the crime scene looked like because that's part of the investigative process that goes through
Right.
my mind.
Right. It is very telling. It is. RC says, Alini, my statement stands. I think there's something coming up tomorrow. You think you guys were angry yesterday. Oh, wait till you see tomorrow. Well, I will be live, RC. I expect you to be here, Godfather. I expect you to be here and let me know if what we heard is what you're talking about. I never thought with what you were saying when we talk about, how his IQ is this high and how he was, he went to all these schools and he's got these diplomas. He has to be a smart guy. It really is glorifying him.
But think about this, Lane. Everybody was focused on the criminology part of it, right? The PhD.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't become a criminology major until his master's program. He was majoring in psychology, which has nothing to do with the criminal mind.
Right.
It has to do with how people react to certain situations based on stimuli or the mental health issues that they may have. I believe he was trying to fix himself, and then he realized he couldn't, so he thought, well, I'll just learn how to use this to my advantage. Maybe I'm not that broken. Maybe it's a superpower.
Maybe he thought, since I can't be famous for being, I'm not going to get hired on at any police department and become this famous detective that everybody wants me to work their cases. Maybe I'll become infamous and my name will always be spoken about in the crime circles and maybe even in textbook.
Hope
Who knows?
Sacco says, do you think some people are just born this sick, 12 gauge? I believe that nature versus nurture has a lot to do with it. Half of the other, half of one, half of the other. I've been reading Dr. Bricado, Gary Bricato's book, The New Evil, and if you haven't read that book, it will be very enlightening to you as far as how people can come from a normal childhood and still become a killer. How the deviancy works its way into the psyche. And I have a lot of the audio on my panel on my page in the library. You guys check it out. But
Absolutely.
I believe that, I always get it wrong. I think it's psychopaths are born, sociopaths are raised. Like
Wow.
once the environmental, sociopaths are able to be somewhat rehabilitated, but psychopaths are not. They don't have empathy. They don't feel the same way. They're very methodical. They make great soldiers, because they don't have the empathy that it takes to not go out and carry something to the nine. Like go into a
Wow.
house and kill four people. People say, well, why didn't he stop at two? Why stop at two? He probably enjoyed it. The urge was there. It was strong. He felt the urge. He felt the blood. I had read early on that he was very addicted to blood. Like he was very attracted to the idea of blood and how just the whole concept of it. And so he probably started feeling that arousal with all the blood,
Mm,
and he wanted more. He didn't stop at two. He had to go get some more, right? And the only reason he stopped at those two is obviously he became exhausted, or
right.
the time was ticking in his head. He said, "I got to get out of here."
Hmm. Agreed. Um, Jeff says ABC News, quote, prosecutors said in a letter to the families that the state was approached last week by Koberger's defense team asking to be presented with an offer. Well, there we go. That's the first I've seen that.
Yeah.
Rondi wants to see all of it. Me too. Me too. I would like to see the body cams of the arrest. Oh, that would be sweet. He wants to be famous. Yes, Hope. Nina says, if you think about it, he gave on the protection of, let me start over. If you think about it, he gave up the protection of death row isolation for communal showers, a mess hall, general population. Yeah.
Hmm.
DT says, exactly. It can't be both ways. That's right. You got to pick it. Yes, you've been going through a lot. Well, we could talk about it, honey. We could talk about it. Hope says, I think the newspapers will get the FOIA too. Yeah, listen, it's going to go through like water. There's no sense in me paying money for it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna come out, and then I'm just gonna clip it and use. Uh, we'll get it. We'll get it. I promise. Jeff
Yeah.
H said, I saw someone just today say that they saw Anne put her hand on Brian's shoulder and say, he's innocent. You got to check that video close because she never touched him. Nina says, with his OCD social awkwardness, he will be miserable in general population, not to mention prison justice. which brings me to this question that I've got on my little pages.
Okay.
You don't anything I ask you, if you're not comfortable answering, just say I'm not going to answer it, and I won't be offended at all. I don't have an offensive bone in my body. I wish I did,
Well,
but I don't feel offended ever. But
I don't get offended.
do you believe in prison justice? I'm not asking you, do you think it's real? I'm asking you, like in this case, I've been saying, I hope he gets prison justice.
I
How do you feel?
believe that he will, because I was in a live chat earlier and he was discussing that, and I've already thought about that myself, where it's not what he did. When you go into prison, you're the big dog. You're the one coming in off the street with the most credibility. So somebody wants to take you out so they can get instantaneous fame for killing the person, just like they killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, right. Well, deep. Okay. April says, yes, we need the answers. RC says, remember court TV. We used to be able to see everything, but you know what humans did? Oh, this is too emotional. Yeah, everybody's offended. Everybody's too sensitive. We're raising a butthurt generation. It pisses me
Yeah.
off. I raised my kids tough. They better raise my grandkids tough. I'm gonna beat the hell out of all of them. And just so there's a lot of people in here I haven't seen in a minute, y'all. Just so you know, number 10 grandchild will be born in November. I just found out. She's already over halfway done, and they're just now telling me. Hopes. Okay, so Gage answered that one already. That's a good point. Jeff H says it's too bad he studied serial killers and then wanted to be Ted Bundy. I agree with that. Why couldn't he have studied rap music and then longed to be the next Eminem? He doesn't have any charisma. He's got no game, Jeff. He's got no game. We did hear the rap, though, and he sucked. He did.
Yeah.
Rondi says a genius IQ is generally considered above 140, also 130. Human behaviors, yes. Nina says, yes, Gage, I think he is a psycho. Absolutely. Joni says, my IQ is 130 and I don't consider myself a genius. Book smart with a lot of common sense. Listen, I think the best, I would keep my common sense any day over any book smarts or any diploma. That's just me. Considered to be gifted. Yes, he was. Good to know. Thanks so much. Joni says, but he's autistic, so will he get special treatment? What says you, Gage?
I don't believe so. It depends on what kind of treatment he's getting in the county jail. Pretty much they go with the same regimen as you're getting in county jail. The only thing that's going to change is his meal pattern. They're not
Oh, I was going to
obligated.
ask you that next. Please tell me we're not going to baby his tummy.
No, the only special meals that they have here in Texas, I don't know about other states, but you're only allowed religious meals, like something that's kosher or something like that. But as far as vegan or anything like that, he's gonna have to do with what he can get in commissary, or he's able to make from the jail food that they serve. I mean,
Nice.
they're not going to special cater to him like they're doing in the county.
Nice. Hello, Melly Joe, my friend from down under. Good to see you, honey. Hope you're feeling better. I know you were dealing with a pretty bad, gnarly cold. Rondi says you grow up fast in 12's chat. Nice. Nina says if Gage won't answer, he can call a friend, and Nina will. I added and Nina will, but I knew which friend she was talking about.
Yeah.
She has a warning label, you guys. This is your warning label. Nina's here. That's all I'm going to say. DT says, dealing with no place to live and my daughter kicked us out. I gave her $500 for rent and $200 for food. God bless you, honey. I am so sorry you are dealing with that Man, that's tough. That's tough. I hope things get better. I will be praying for you. Let's see. Oh, Diamond Lucidity is here. My other Indiana sister. I don't believe he's autistic. Where was there proof, Gage?
All that we know is the psychological evaluation that those experts were going to testify to, and they did diagnose him with OCD, um, ASD, which is the autism, and ADHD.
Let's see. All right. Wild Angel says, Lena, you catching up with me? Am I? I'm getting there, girlfriend. I know you're here. I said hello to you the first time you came in, girlfriend, and then you left with Becca. I know what's going on, girl. I know. Let me ask Gage another question while we're at this, okay? Do you think they have more evidence? And I'm talking about hard evidence. DNA.
I believe it's possible. I really do, but based on what I said earlier when you were talking about Bill Thompson, one thing that I never trusted about him was that he was a plea bargain person. He was one that wanted to plea bargain, even though he went after the death penalty in this case. I didn't really think that he would go all the way through with it, and I was correct. I got a lot of flack, when I said, "Oh, Koberger's going to plead." There's no way that this is going to go all the way, and obviously it happened. But I kind of figured that Bill wouldn't take it all the way.
Do you know, I really, I mean, up till just last week, Maggie and I were texting and she said, Leanie, what are we going to do if he pleads? And I was like, he's not going to plead this late. I'm just not I'm more worried about Ann Taylor telling him, fire me. If you fire me, you're guaranteeing yourself about another year and a half in the jail. I could have seen that happening, but I could not see a plea. That's why I was blown away when it happened.
But can you imagine, Lean? Think about this. I can't imagine being in jail 5 minutes. Can you imagine
No.
being in there 2 years and 7 months, not being able to move around? The only time you get out probably is to do a little rec and maybe go to church service or whatever, and in the court.
No, I can't imagine, but I'm looking forward to it one day. Listen, it's on my bucket list. I'm just waiting to see who's worth me spending 4 or 5 hours in jail for.
You know what I mean? It's like at a particular point it breaks you. And probably his religious conversion, if that really did catch hold, maybe that played a lot to do with his redemption story. He's like, well, the only way that I can, possibly be forgiven is to admit to what I've done. People haven't talked on that, but
I just don't think he's got that much conscience.
Yeah,
I don't think he feels.
He started going to Catholic services, we heard, and he was. I mean, I don't think he does, but we just never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Wild Angel, there's a fine. I mean, Joni says, Wild Angel, there's a fine line between genius and madness. That's a great quote.
Yeah.
That you need to coin that, Joni. Coin it. Nina says, we've been laughed at a lot, haven't we, Gage?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I think everybody's gotten it one way or the other. Lolly is here. She says, I'm late. I'm going to rewind and catch up. All right, girlfriend.
I told people we're going on at 8 o'clock, so you might get an influx of people coming in.
Maggie said it for 8 my time, and you and I are an hour off from each other. So,
okay.
And I'm not used to being live this time. I don't know that I've ever done a live at this time. So my subs are probably asleep waiting on me to go on at 1:30 in the morning, because I usually will do a daytime or I'll do a late night.
Right.
So there's that. In fact, I'm usually getting off. If we're doing a Koberger Wednesday, we're usually off before this. So there's that. All right, let's do something different. I'm going to stop with the questions for a minute. We're going to take a look at some of the things that, at least one of the things I did look up and see what families have come out and given a statement so far. Everybody knows that Steve Goncalves has come out and talked. And of course, there will be more and more and more and more. But I don't know if you know that Maddie Mogen's father came out and gave a statement, and I'm going to play that. I want to know, are you guys blown away by his statement? If you have heard it, if you haven't heard it, I'm going to present it to you right now, because I have to say, I was taken back. So let me
I
see.
haven't heard it.
You haven't? So
No.
let's not that one, not that one, not that. It's this one. Let me share this one, and then let me make it big so everybody can see. If the mods don't mind putting our disclaimer in, you guys, our news source is CBS, and this is how long? This is about a three minutes, so I'm just going to let it play through. Like I said, this is from CBS News, and this was put out 9 hours ago. So let's take a listen.
Of killing 4 University of Idaho students back in 2022 will plead guilty to the murders. Brian Koberger is expected in court tomorrow to finalize the agreement, which will spare him the death penalty. Let's bring in CBS News' Anna Schechter. She's a senior coordinating producer of the Crime and Public Safety Unit here at CBS News. Anna, good to see you. So remind us again the details of this case and what transpired to lead to this guilty plea.
Well, 3 years ago, these 4 college students were murdered, stabbed to death in their home off campus. They were all students at the University of Idaho. And investigators found surveillance footage of a car that looked just like Koberger's car circling around, driving by, cell phone pings. They also found a knife sheath with his DNA on it that they said matched an Amazon.com purchase of his, a knife with a sheath. So investigators and prosecutors have pulled all of this evidence together, and a trial was actually set for August. So this news that broke late last evening really has shocked folks in the community, the victims' families as well. We'll talk about that in a moment, but really surprising turn of events in this case.
Yeah, so you mentioned the families are responding, and a lot of them seem to be very unhappy with what has been decided by the prosecution. What can you tell me?
That's right. Well, Kaylee Gonzalez's family put out a statement saying they failed us, so talking about the prosecutors. They're so disappointed that this outcome actually doesn't seek the justice that they felt they were promised. So her family, they were looking forward to having a trial, and they were also in favor of the death penalty being on the table. But the families, our own Jonathan Vigliotti, spoke to the father of Maddie Mogen. I think we have a soundbite from him. He felt relief upon getting this news.
I think it's justice when you don't have to torture families that have been already through the most horrific thing they could ever imagine. And I don't want another day of this. And we're talking about decades.
He doesn't want another day. I think I appreciate the sentiment. And man, Benjamin Mogen looks terrible. Like I can't imagine the pain of losing a child. So is he unique and alone in feeling this way, or are the others sort of subscribing to that?
We haven't heard directly from the other families, but in cases like this, you often have victims' families disagree on what justice looks like. Every person is processing this in their own way. So this is pretty typical where you see people having differing views about what justice looks like, Vlad.
Right. All right. Anna Schechter for us. Thank you, Anna. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys, there's that. What says you? What says you to Gage?
I really didn't understand what he said. What did he say?
He was saying that he was glad to get the news that Brian was going to confess because he doesn't want to go through this for years and years and years. He just wants it to be over. I was a little shocked.
Why?
Well, because Maddie Mogan was best friends with Kaylee Gonsalves, and
Right, right.
supposedly families were real close. I know that for a while, if not for up until today, I haven't heard, but I knew at least for a while that they had Maddie's ashes with Kaylee's right there in their living room. And I would have just thought that there were, that those two families are so tight that they would have wanted the same things.
Well, I believe that the difference in the families is like Ben's in recovery.
Mm.
So it has a lot to do with forgiveness, not to harbor resentments toward other people, stuff like that.
Yeah. So makes you wonder if, because he's not married to the mother any longer, right? Hi,
No,
Texas Ranger. Good to see you, honey.
I think he has a different wife.
Yeah. And so the mom, it makes you wonder if she was actually the one that was closest to the Gonsalveses, because when the Gonsalveses came out, when they first came out and they talked about the relationship between the girls, they said that Kaylee had told him, that she had a new friend when they first met her, and that, she wanted to come and stay the night and stuff, but the mom needed the Goncalveses to call her, and she had to like talk with them before which I think is, listen, if you're not doing that with your grandchildren and your children, don't let your kids go and stay the night with their friends unless you know their parents, and even then you need to be praying. Anyways, so she did a good mother thing and said, you're not going anywhere unless I get to know the parents. So maybe the father and the mother of Maddie have two different opinions on what's going on. What says you? Because Steve Gonsalves did say that there are more people that sided with the death penalty rather than taking a plea deal. Thank you so much for dropping the fair use in there, Melly Joe. And welcome, Texas Rangers. So good to see you. Hope's Echo says, I understand why he wouldn't want his daughter on the stand. Well, that's not his daughter. His daughter's dead. Is that what you're talking about? Or you wouldn't want them talking about his daughter in court? I mean, surely it's going to be painful.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know how I would feel. I think I would feel like, no, we're going to trial and you're going to face me. And I think that's how I would feel, but I've never been through anything like that before. So it's just one of those things we can say, oh, I would have done it this way, or I would have done this, or I would have said this. You don't know. I don't know. Even if I had been through something like that, that doesn't mean that I can speak for these parents and how they should feel.
I mean, after 2 years and 7 months, I mean, going and hearing all that gore would be like ripping the scab open once again just to watch it bleed.
But don't you think that's a choice? Don't you think that the parents that wanted to see this to the end and do the trial should have the trial, and they should have gone on with the trial, and the parents that didn't want to hear it, they just stay away? What says you about that?
I agree.
Texas Ranger says the family that want to know what happened to their daughter, they have the right to know. Absolutely. Hope Sacco says, I understand why he wouldn't to hear about it. Yeah. Listen, some people can't go through it, and that's okay. To know yourself. Listen, I would rather you know yourself and say, I don't think I can handle that. And
I mean, he'd always said how close he was to Maddie.
yeah, they
You
were
know,
very
that was,
interested in their music together and stuff, right?
yeah. So, I mean, I would want to know, but not, I wouldn't want to learn about it in a courtroom. I'd want to
Understandable.
have the last images and memories to not be stuff that I saw and heard in a courtroom.
Understandable. And I think some of the parents probably are like that. I think they're going to be given the evidence. I really do.
Yeah.
And they will have the choice what to look at and what not to. All right. So you guys know that there's a new docu-series coming out. It starts on the 11th of July. And we will be covering that on help me out here, mods. My brain is going dead. I'm not used to being live this time. We will be covering that over on Fudge Sickles.
Twitch,
No, the other one.
X,
No, the other one.
Rumble,
No,
Rumble.
no. Discord. There it is. It's right up there. We will be covering that on Discord, and that will be open to everybody in the channel. You will have to get your handle to me or Maggie. No, we're going to do that one as an open one. You're going to have to, if you want to be involved in that, I don't want to hear later, oh, I didn't even know Leanie was live on Discord. We've been saying it all along, that we will do a live on Discord, viewing that together. And so some of that was released. We've all seen the pressers, and we've all seen the teasers on it, right?
Right.
But a new one came out, and I wanted to know if you guys had seen it. I pulled it up in case you didn't, because we know that the Chapin family is involved in that new docu-series, which kind of shocked me. It's a very kind of private people. My email is accordingtolini@gmail.com. And Maggie, myself, and Rizzo, who is lunch lady, for those of you that don't know, all have access to that, and we will make sure that you are invited to that day. So that will be July the 11th. Let's share the screen because it's Hunter and Maisie. Yes, Nina. So we're going to hear from, this is the first time. So let's pull this up because y'all, I bawled my eyes out. I'm going to try not to bawl my eyes out here, but I watched it 3 times. It's very short. Of course, the docu-series is going to be longer. This is only 4 minutes. I'm going to let it play through because I think it's that important. If you have already seen this, please bear with those that have not seen it yet. Let me put it on big screen, and I'll make it even bigger after that. I'm going to mute out, and we're just going to sit here and watch this a second.
Murders case after Brian Koberger agreed to plead guilty to all counts. Shortly before we learned of the plea deal, Kana Whitwer sat down with the family of one of the victims, Ethan Chapin. I want to go back to Kana in Boise. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, George, good morning. So the last time that Jim and Stacey Chapin saw their son Ethan alive, it was Parents' Weekend at the University of Idaho. They told me they left full of pride. Their 3 children, their triplets, were living their best lives. But that feeling was short-lived. It wasn't long after they learned that Ethan had been murdered in a quadruple homicide that thrust the town of Moscow into chaos. And this morning, for the first time, the Chapin family tells the story of how they stayed afloat.
We just decided maybe it was best to tell our story of Ethan literally one time. He deserves it. He deserves our story of him.
This morning, as the Idaho murder suspect prepares to accept a plea deal. The family of Ethan Chapin speaking publicly together for the first time since Ethan, his girlfriend Xana Kernodle, and her roommates Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez were brutally murdered in an off-campus home at the University of Idaho.
I miss him every day. When you lose your son at 20, you know, it's different. It's a different loss. And I miss him every single day. And I always will.
Ethan, a triplet with his siblings, Hunter and Maisie, all attending the University of Idaho together. Hunter and Maisie and their parents, Jim and Stacy, now telling their story in a new Prime Video docuseries, One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, remembering their 6'4", larger-than-life brother and son.
We played every sport together. Every time we went in the car, it was together, partied together. There was never a dull moment.
The night before Ethan was killed, Maisie brought him to her sorority formal. She now cherishes the text he sent her before bed.
So he started off by texting me. I think he said, "Dog, come hang out. We all want you here." And I said, "I'm going to bed." And then he said, "Love you." And I didn't even respond to that. I think I was asleep by then.
And the "I love you" kind of stood out, though.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Hunter, who pledged Sigma Chi with Ethan, says the next morning, a friend at the fraternity woke him up saying the police were at Xana's house.
Hunter Johnson came up to me and said, I was like, "Where's Ethan and Xana?" And he's like, "They're not here anymore." So, "What do you mean they're not here anymore?" He's like, "I think they were murdered last night."
Hunter was forced to call his family with the news, his parents in disbelief.
It drives me crazy because I've always wanted to protect my family. And there's really nothing there that I could have done. You know, instantly he was taken.
A suspect, Brian Koberger, arrested nearly 7 weeks later. With a bit of relief, the Chapins shifting their focus to their son's legacy, getting tattoos to honor him.
We all benefited from having Ethan in our lives for 20 years. It's a tremendous loss.
Now, the Chapins told me that they brought Ethan's ashes and his red Jeep home to one of their favorite places in Priest Lake, Idaho, where they live like Ethan every day to honor his legacy. For more on their story, you can catch One Night in Idaho, the College Murders. It premieres on July 11th on Prime Video. George.
Okay, Candace, thanks very much.
You know, that's intense. But I'm glad that we don't have to hear about Koberger's BS during all these docuseries, the book, whatever is going to be made between now and, whenever. I'm glad Koberger's going to be sitting away, rotting. And we don't have to hear, he doesn't share these memories that we're watching, that he's done. We don't have to listen to the creators glorify him and demonize the families.
Yes.
Just because they're envious of what a real family looks like. I mean, I've heard so many quote unquote men talk about, the dad is weak because he never spoke. While they can't even pay their own bills and they're grifting for money online, but that's what a real man is, right?
Listen, I mean, that's the first we've heard of Maisie and Hunter, heard from them. And I bawled, but I lost my shit completely when Dad started talking, because as a parent, or as anybody, but for me, it was as a parent, I just can't imagine the pain. And for him to say, I couldn't protect him, there was nothing I could do.
Right.
So how dare anybody say anything bad about these families? How dare you? You don't know. And even if you lived similarly to what they have gone through, we still don't know.
True.
Thank you for being here, you guys. That I forgot to tell you guys that was my source on that one was from Good Morning America, and that is going to start on. Those are just clippets of what is going to the docu series. I think it's 2 or 3 parts, maybe even 4 parts. That will start on July the 11th, and again, we will be running those for anybody who wants to attend it. My email once again is accordingtoleni@gmail.com. Let one of us 3 know that you want to attend it, and we will get the invite sent out on that. And because usually our Discord is for members only, but this one we're going to open it up and do that. Good to see you, Rapper. Thank you. Ranger says some of these folks on YouTube are complete scum. That's correct. You're correct. Let me ask another question of 12 Gauge. If you guys don't know, if you're just jumping in, this is 12 Gauge Investigates. He has his own YouTube channel. I have noticed the mods dropping his link a couple times in chat. Scroll up, grab it, hang out with my friends. It's important to me. Having seen how this process has worked, this is a good question for you because you said that you just completed your criminal justice degree. After having gone through that, after having lived through the last 2.5 years, after having read every freaking, and I know you did because I did, read every freaking document that has come out on this case through the courts, been at every hearing, even if we had to replay it because we have lives off of YouTube, believe it or not. Do you feel the same way about our justice system? Or do you feel like this will change the way people really see it? Because, Gage, I'm better to let you know right now. I've already told everybody I didn't think this was possible. I knew it was possible. I just didn't think it was something that anybody would do. I thought people were just, I think it's too cruel to do. How do you feel? Do you think other criminals are going to say, well, look, we'll stretch this, and other prosecutors and other defense, let's go ahead and stretch this out for as long as we can. Let's make some money. Keep him out of prison for a while, maybe make some deals, write a book, have someone write a book, because in the end, you got to do is pop a deal.
Well, I'm from Texas, so I don't see this going on very much here. If they're gonna put you to death, they're gonna put you to death. They don't let you plea. They don't offer to plea. They, there for a while, our execution was dubbed the express lane,
Yeah, I remember that.
So I don't know if Idaho is indeed a blue state, and I believe politics has a lot to do with that. And it's sad if that is the case. I don't want to get into the political aspect of it, but I believe that the criminals do follow in precedence. If they see like Brian got to go and continue and do all this, well, what's to keep me from doing it? I can do it too.
Copycat killings. That's smart.
Yeah.
Let me say hi to MJD. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here. Which brings me to the very next question. I'm glad you brought that up, sir, because I have a question for you about that.
Okay.
Did you? Okay, so you brought up the kind of political thing, which leads me here. Before today's earlier live I did, when I would vote, I wouldn't even click the box of the prosecution. I never even looked at William Bill Thompson's what his record. I never even thought to do that, to tell you the truth. I didn't. I just thought, if you're going to be a prosecutor, by God, you're going to make sure people pay at the full extent of the law. That's the way I am. All or nothing. All or nothing. So I never even clicked the box, because I just thought, well, all prosecutors are the same. They all want justice. Did you ever, do you vote for prosecution, and do you go into their backgrounds?
I have not. I heard you say that, and I was like, you know what? I haven't even really taken the time either, because I work closely with the DA, and I mean, I've seen him try cases, and I believe the assistant DA is a lot stronger. I wouldn't reelect him. He's a little,
Absolutely. If we had known then, now you say you've known, you called him wild, no, you called him a kingpin. And I
plea bargain kingpin.
Yes, I dig it. I like it a lot. I don't know how long you've known that. I just learned that today. Do you think, had the voters, because I'm listen, y'all could put in chat if you pass that box. I passed that box. I just thought, if you're fighting for justice, damn, we're going to go for. I don't care. I really don't care who you put in there. Put your friends in there. I don't care, as long as they do what's right by victims, right?
And you have to be very, very mindful of that, because I did a case on a death penalty here in Texas where the Houston DA was anti-death penalty, and he was trying to get this individual off the death penalty, and even gave him more time. But the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional. They didn't go for it, but he was anti-death penalty, so he was working to get him exonerated.
Wow. Well, we do know that Ann Taylor, she's, her record shows it, you guys. She's very anti-death penalty. And maybe you got to be the prosecutor, a defense attorney. I don't know. But I will tell you, one thing I will always do from now on, that I learned in this whole thing, is that I will always check out the prosecution's records, and I will be voting. I will be voting. Because
nobody wants a wishy-washy prosecutor. You want one that's going after justice, and you're going to stick to the guns, and either you have a case or you don't. If you don't have a case, I understand the plea bargain. But another thing that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to a plea bargain, and they're angry about it, a plea bargain is all about money. It's about saving the state money. The longer the case is, the more money it costs. So most people do plea out. I very seldom see it in a death penalty case, but they do. They plea out in lesser crimes.
Let's see. Let me see. Texas Ranger says, I checked Bill Thompson out right when this started, so I named him Plea Deal Bill. Listen, I don't mind telling you guys, I had no clue that was something that I needed. I just took it for what it was, and what it was they're prosecutors, and they're for justice, and so that was good enough for me. I left it up to all of you guys. And Idaho, y'all got something to worry about. Get that man out of office. Get him out of there.
So think about this, Lynn. If you have a prosecutor that's anti-death penalty or does plea deals, that's his thing, and you have a defense attorney who's anti-death penalty, you already know You already know what's going to happen, right?
Right.
The defense attorney is going to try to convince their client to plea.
Well, damn, I didn't know that the prosecution was going to work with it too.
See,
I mean,
many people pictured, the prosecutor as being the big bad, we're going after
yeah,
this for justice.
all or
Maybe
nothing. Right.
they do picture it that way, but they don't do the research, like you said.
Now
And
I
you could
know.
have a prosecutor that's really, let's plea this out. Let's save the state some money. I'm about to retire anyways. This is my last case,
Right.
and we've done this long enough.
Right. Well,
Tell him
what's the,
we'll take the death penalty off the table. He'll have to serve 4 consecutive plus a 10. No eligibility of parole. Hey, your client's alive. That's what you wanted all this time. That's all you've wanted. So you got what you wanted. We got what we wanted. Let's get this done.
well, what I want to do is I need to go back over Mr. Thompson's. I used to call him William because I think I should be on first name basis with everybody.
Yeah.
But now I'm calling him Mr. Thompson. And I need to check out his, I forget what I was going to say there. You see what happens when you get old, people? Don't get old because it just leaves you that quick. But it was going to be good, whatever I was going to say. Oh, Lolly says we always vote according to party. See, I can't do that because I don't claim a party. I research my butt off I dig deep into. Listen, I know what type of toilet paper they're using by the time I vote. Practically, that's a little excessive, but practically, I get as deep as I can get it. So I refuse to vote for a party. I will vote for the man or woman. I don't
So
care.
do you want a prosecutor who's tough on crime
Absolutely.
and gets convictions, but is not really for the death penalty, is looking for more to plea out to get them off the streets?
No,
Because
and that,
that's essentially what he is.
but this is, and you just by asking that question, you reminded me of what I was going to say. I would be curious to know, and I'm going to go back and look because old Bill Thompson, he gave some interviews in the beginning. Remember, they were asking him, "How do you plan to prosecute this?" I want to look and see if he said, "I'm going to prosecute him to the full extent of the law," because if he said that, he's a fucking liar because he did not. The
You're
full
right.
extent of the law would be the death penalty, and we're going to trial. That means full extent. We're taking it as far as we can take it, come hell or high water. That's it. That's the kind of prosecution I want at all times, not just for my family, but for your family too. Hell or high water, full extent of the law. Whatever the law allows, that's what you're getting.
I mean, think about this. If you look back on all the motions for discovery, they weren't given the discovery all at once like they had to give it. And then all of a sudden, we give you all this discovery, and you can't go.
12 Gauge is having storms come through where he's at, you guys, so just bear with him. He will get back to us as soon as he can pop. Storms are jumping him up and down. Until then, I'll keep reading chat. Texas Ranger says, Joni, I wouldn't doubt if he didn't say the whole heck, because he didn't say a whole heck of a lot during all of this. Miss Barbara says, I ignorantly thought that the attorney general appointed the prosecutors. They do in some states. Now you have to look up your state and see. Not all of our states are appointed. Some of them are voted in. Idaho is voted in. Hi, Leslie and Billy. Good to see you. I'm not sure which one I'm talking to, but welcome. And you found 12 Gauge. He'll be right back, you guys. He's got some storms, and I do appreciate him for coming up here with us. He's very knowledgeable. All right, 12 Gauge. What were we talking about? Your friend Leslie and Billy just found you, so you're being stalked. Here, this is for your. I'm sorry, but I wanted to give
all the motion to discovery and all that that they were doing at the very beginning, and then all of a sudden they had a deadline.
All right, Leslie, quit stalking the man. Just kidding.
And then they had a deadline. So they gave over all this discovery all at once, right? So they kept having motions. Well, they're not bringing it to us like we need it. You know, we're not getting this, we're not getting that, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's a tactic. Wouldn't you think that if we give you everything at once, you're not going to have enough time to go through it all? You're going to look like an ineffective counsel. And then you're going to want to plea because you're going to feel like, well, if we go to trial with me not being able to effectively defend my client and he gets brought guilty, then the ineffective counsel is going to be an appeal for him anyway. So, you know, it's going to look bad on her. So nobody wants to be the one that looks bad in the courtroom. You know what I mean?
Right. Hope Secco says, we have the good old boy system here. We can't get anyone voted out. Yeah, there are places like that. I feel sorry for y'all that are like that. That wouldn't work very well with me. Texas Ranger said the last time he ran unopposed. Oh, man. Hello, Forrester. Good to see you. And Leslie and Billy just went through the worst thunderstorms, which I think is what Gage is dealing with now, some of. Texas Ranger says, I can tell you already, Leanie, he is a liar. Well, I wished I had and listen, we learn something new every day, and that's my takeaway from this trial. There's two takeaways I have. It's never too late for anything. And if you can vote in your prosecutors, you better be doing some research. Hope says it's too late. She's old. All right, let's do a little bit of something else here. I said I wanted to play a game. I like playing this game with anybody new that's on my panel. I just have to play it a different way with you because you are true crime and you're not just you weren't just subbed to me. You have a channel, so I actually made it classy. I'm not a real classy person, Gage.
Well, you could have left it X-rated.
No.
If you've been in my lives at all, you know that they're not always classy.
All right, well then can you take off your t-shirt, get on cam and answer these questions?
My girlfriend would have a heart
See
attack.
there? See there?
She would kill me.
You get a creator. Do you know how many men have done that?
I did it by accident. I did it by accident one night. I was in a live and I didn't realize the cam was on. I had taken my shirt off and I came back and sat down and everybody's like, Gage, are you okay? Your shirt's off. I'm gonna sub up to him.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, for a long time, all we did was we were catfishing. I told everybody, I was like, guys, we're catfishing just for subs because I had to get to 1,000 subs, and I got there in 10 months. But it was strictly through being disgustingly trashy and catfishing with something that looks a little like this. Y'all, that's my head and my hair. That ain't my body, and it's never been my body. But I was honest with everybody, and I used the hell out of it. I didn't care.
And anyway. Probably they didn't even believe that wasn't your body. They didn't care.
Oh, if they're drunk, they're just like, don't ruin my image. And I'm like, all right, listen, take it for what you will, but I'm being honest with you. I look nothing like that other than that head, that big ass head of mine with all that hair. Because I'm an 80s girl, y'all. Listen, the bigger the hair, the closer to Jesus. That's what I say.
That's what they say.
I believe that 100%. My hair is big.
Let me show you the avatar that I used at one time.
Oh, you're hot. Look at you.
You see that?
Yeah, nice. Nice.
That is really me. You know, that's not
Yeah, that's not
Photoshop.
just your head stuck on someone's body like mine is. Oh, y'all
No.
don't even know what all we have going on here, y'all. I mean, look at Max. Look. I mean, I pimped everybody out. You always pimping my mods out. I pimped Maggie out. I pimped. Oh, it was. But you know what? I made my goal. Let me show you what I did to Max. Listen, I play a doctor on here too. I'll be whatever it is you need me to. Listen, I'll even be a redhead. Okay, I'm
So
naturally blonde.
this got you to 1,000.
Well, a lot of people, the guys can't handle strong women. We women that hang out all the time, we're very strong, opinionated, pissed off, middle-aged women. The men couldn't handle it. But, I pimped them all out. All of my mods had bikini shots. All of the mods. Everybody had bikinis on. And I pimped Mags too. That's Maggie's head on bodies. And then this is the real me. Like, I'm not impressed. Total resting bitch face. Yeah, that's me completely, not those others. But we were very honest with people. We took a lot of shit and we're like, calm down, big fellas. We told you we're catfishing. Calm it down. No, we don't have an OnlyFans, but I would do an OnlyFans. All right, let's see. Let's play a game. Let's play a game
All right,
with Gabe.
let's play a game.
Let me read this from RC, the godfather of the channel. He says a prosecutor should do exactly what his job description is according to the law, not his personal feelings. They shouldn't be anti or pro shit mixed on the other side. I agree. Uphold the law. I mean, obviously, we've all got opinions. I could listen. There's a reason why I'm not a defense attorney. A, I'm not smart enough. B, I'm too transparent because I'd be like, Your Honor, sir, dude. That man over there, my client, he's guilty of sin. Y'all wouldn't believe what he told me in chambers. I'm just letting you know, I cannot defend him because he's guilty. That would be me, right? So I couldn't be that, but also, you're okay to have opinions, right? All of us have got them, but you got to do your job. I think more people are politicians, pardon me, lawyers. There's a reason why they're all called snakes. There's a reason for it. And it's because half of the shit that comes out of their mouths are freaking lies. All right. Let's do this with 12 gauge. Now, see, what I'd be asking you is something like leather or lace, hot or cooling
lace.
Hot or cooling sex gel.
Hot.
Rubber or glass sex toys.
Neither.
Boobs or ass.
Ass.
That's the kind of questions. I'll stop right there because this isn't Leanie After Dark. This is Leanie being respectful. I run a respectful show during the day. After hours, we're raunchy as all get out. All right.
Well,
this
if you
is
got more, I'm not.
You're not opposed to that?
No, I'm not opposed. I'm having fun.
Okay, we'll do a Leanie and Gage After Dark one day.
All right.
All right. This is called I Say You Say. All right. I'm gonna say either a name or a word or something or a place or whatever, and you give me the first three things that come to your mind.
Okay.
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 Judge Hippler.
Strong. Fed up. Demonstrative.
Fed up is a great one. Demonstrative. That's a great one. I've never used that word. You know what word I started using recently? Scoundrel. What? Those dirty scoundrels. Have you ever used the word scoundrel?
No.
Right.
Never.
It's a classy word. Rather than calling him a motherfucker, you call him a scoundrel. I'm still going to use motherfucker, but anyways, there's that. Ann Taylor.
Whiny, uses sexist power,
Oh,
and
Judge
indecisive.
John Judge, ring a bell? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear your last one because I dug the middle one that you said.
Indecisive.
Indecisive. Wow. Listen, won't it be interesting to if we could I'm going to be following the next the next case that she's doing, because I'll probably just do it by my little lonesome, and because I want to see how she treats the next one. If she treats it, I
Tyler
think
Mead.
yeah, I'm gonna be glued to his case. Bill Thompson.
Old. Bad temper.
Oh, nice.
Bad haircut.
Bad haircut, or no, the lack of.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much facial hair.
Yeah.
The Moscow police.
Effective. Sometimes prying. And young.
Wow, I like it. I like it. Steve Gonsalves.
Articulate. Quizzical. At times wishy-washy.
Nice. I dig it. I dig that too. But I want to ask you, let me stop it right there, because I do have a question about that wishy-washiness. As you guys can tell, I always want to know everything. Do you think he's wishy-washy just because he's wishy-washy, or do you think he's wishy-washy because he has to be careful what information he's given out, and he also is walking a tight line because he doesn't want to impede the investigation or what's going to happen in court? Do you think it's that, or maybe a little of both?
When I put wishy-washy on him, I say, don't give me like, well, if you step over that line, you know what's going to happen to you, and then, but I really can't tell you what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
It's kind of not definitive. It's just very, very, very back and forth. I mean, I could see that, they were telling him, hey, you need to shut it down a little bit. You need to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You're not helping. We understand you're grieving. We understand that you want justice, but you're not helping. We're doing our job. Have faith.
So
I can see that.
So that reminds me of fishing. You throw the line out there with the bait on it, but you'll never grab the fish.
Right.
You're just baiting us. I get that. Santa Claus, that's a good one. I'm gonna go pick up Thompson in Idaho. We're gonna travel all 48. And he's gonna go into every mall in America at Christmas time and do that for free. And all children that sit on his lap will not be wearing diapers. That's his punishment for the shit he just put us through. All right, here's another one for you, Gage. Fraternity.
Entitled at times. Close knit. And partiers.
Gotcha. Here's another one. Daddy Koberger. And I have to call him Daddy because Brian's just a real guy that they was taking care of. He's the baby boy. They had to go all the way out there and go drive him home. Daddy
The first
Koberger.
thing I noticed about him is his body shape.
Which is, tell me. No, there's got to be something to it. Tell me.
I don't know. It's kind of like ogreish, maybe. I don't know. It's just different.
Wow.
It's different.
Okay.
I viewed it based on he's too loose with the lips. Like he talks too much. He's yeah.
You seen Brian Koberger staring at the back of his head like sending beams into it when he was telling the officer about the crimes that had happened in Moscow.
Right, right. And
Brian just wanted to take his head off.
and one more word would be I would say strong to have to deal with Brian's bullshit. To,
Wow.
to be able to turn him in, that took strength.
But do you think he's the one that turned him in?
Well, no, I'm not talking about for this. I'm talking about when he stole his sister's cell
Oh,
phone.
yeah. Listen, and I think there's stuff we just don't know. Maybe the parents really, I don't think mommy tried. I just don't. Mommy wrote an op-ed to about the death penalty against Bundy, and she wanted it taken off. She didn't believe in it. I just think there's something to the mommy son relationship that we don't know about, and I'm not talking about anything vile like sexual things going on.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about psychological stuff that she put into her son.
Well,
And
think about
so
it. Two sisters. He's in the middle, or he's the youngest, I think. Or in the middle, one or the other. I can't remember. Plus
but
mom.
he was the only boy.
Yeah. So you're being constantly harassed by women, and I'm not being
Misogynist.
misogynistic. Yeah, misogynistic. I'm just saying that when somebody is placed in that environment, they lose their testosterone.
I dig that you said that. Now, I was taking it the other way though, kind of like what Nina's saying. Mommy is the problem. Texas Ranger says mommy still wants to breastfeed him. I think he was coddled. I think he was the only boy. He was the golden child. Because we looked up how many states on the East Coast did criminology PhDs and stuff like that. Everything he was going to call. Y'all, why did he have to go all the way over to Washington? Could it be that it was because Bundy was over there? And
I believe he could have found one of the girls online and become infatuated.
so you don't think that it was a connection with Bundy at all, like that?
No, no. I believe that he probably emulated him, but he wasn't. I mean, based on his tactics, they weren't identical. If he would have wanted to be like Bundy, he would have used more tactic than Bundy did. You know what I mean? They were totally different. Brian was the kind of serial killer that you wouldn't notice in a dark room. You know what I
Right,
mean?
because you just don't even notice him.
Right. Bundy is one of those that you would have known he was in the damn room.
Right, very charismatic. He liked nobody better than what he saw in the mirror.
Right, right. So, I mean, I think that if he was more like anybody, would have been Stephen McDaniel. I've always said it, or Danny Rowling. Gainesville Ripper.
Yeah. Rondi says, so do you think the dad just wasn't strong enough?
Strong enough for what? To raise
Do you mean
a boy?
to raise a boy or to handle
I believe maybe he didn't get the support from mom that he needed to give the authoritarian type.
Listen, I'm going to echo that because listen, in my view, and it's my channel, so I could say it because this is according to Leanie. Okay. So it's according to me that I believe everybody has a place in the home. There's a place for a dad, a place for a mom, a place for children, and we all have roles to play. And listen, call me old fashioned, call me what you will. I don't care. I've been called worse. I believe that if parents aren't out there supporting each other and that we aren't allowing them to play their roles, if there is those kind of roles represented in the home, sometimes it's not a two-parent home. I'm talking about the regular 2-parent home that we all grew up in. If there is not support of each parent's role in the house by the parents, there's going to be a break there. And it's not going to be with the parents, it's going to be with their children.
Yes.
And that's just what I believe.
Any more?
Yes, I have more. Let me do the kids real quick. Nina says, 3 adult kids, 3 majors in psychology, 3 unwed, 3 no kids. Girls moved back home. But did they move back home after is it true they both got fired from their jobs? Can you answer that to me? Gage, do you know?
I've heard that they filed for bankruptcy because dad lost his job. I don't know if mom was working at the time. I haven't done that kind of extensive research on the family. I have not. I mean,
Yeah.
Nina would know more than I do as far as that kind of research. But I was going to tell you, if you're going to do a live tomorrow, I'd be happy to come up tomorrow night with you because I'm about to go to the gym. And
Oh God,
if
don't
you
let us miss that.
if you want Nina to come up, she can answer some questions too. I mean, she's
I would
knowledgeable.
love Nina to come up. I would love it. I'm not
Yeah,
going to stay
maybe
on
she can. Yeah,
too much
maybe
longer,
just
but I'll
say,
have her finish up these questions for me.
yeah, yeah.
Gage, I
you.
appreciate.
I thank you and your chat for the respect. Thank you so much for that. You are more than welcome in my lives, in my chats. You'll get the same kind of respect as you
Thank you.
are accustomed to in here. There's no judgment. I am going to be doing different type cases, so I know we all got kind of spoiled on the Idaho 4 because it's interesting to talk about, but you know, life goes on and
We got to move on.
yeah, we got to move on.
Yeah.
But let me know what time you're going on tomorrow, and maybe we can coordinate and I can come back on.
So I'll be on tomorrow afternoon or in the morning, afternoon, whenever they do the for the court. That's when I'll be on. But if you're going to
Okay.
be live tomorrow night, then I have my bells on, so you can ring my bell, and then I'll
Won't you
jump right
stop
onto the.
over? Won't you stop over in my chat tomorrow evening?
All
And
right.
we can kind of do the same thing.
Absolutely. Would love it. Would love it. Gage, we appreciate you so much. Thank you
thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't subbed to Gage,
One day we'll have to do that leaning after dark. That sounded fun.
Leaning After Dark. We've got so much After Dark. Oh, it's a great time.
Goodness,
It's a great time.
goodness.
All right,
Thank
Gage,
you
have a
guys.
good
Thank
night.
you. You
Have a
too.
good night.
Bye-bye.
Listen, y'all sub up to Gage, sub up to Nina, sub up to everybody. Drop your links. If you have got especially my mods, if you have got a channel, anybody that's supporting the channel, please drop those links. There we go. They're going to run through. You guys sub up to my friends, sub up to my mods, sub up to Gage and Nina. Listen, if I thought he run a crap channel, there's no way I would have asked him to come. But he doesn't. Their chat is a lot like ours. He's very informative. He doesn't try to be more than what he is. He's not trying to use, he just puts it out there like it is. You're welcome to take it or leave it. That's on you. But he puts out what he knows, and I dig it. So sub up to my friends. They're going in chat right now. You guys do that. Nina, do you want to come up? If you don't want to, I understand. And we could save this for Gage's tomorrow night if he wants to use it. If not, I can have you guys back in. Texas Ranger says 12 gave me a wrench and all I do is hit myself with it. Oh, After Dark. We have some good crazy times. Oh, if you only knew the shit we've gotten ourselves into. We have gotten into some shit. Both lost their jobs. The sisters, Joni says. I thought so, but I wasn't for sure about it. Nina says, yes, both got fired. They filed bankruptcy in 1998 and 2010. Mary Jane says, with the cost of housing prices, I think everyone should just live together. Mary Jane, you know that's not going to happen here, honey. I would live in a travel trailer before I'm moving in with people that don't truly, truly, truly need it. Truly. Because I'm a 2-hour girl. After that, y'all don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Listen, I told my son the other day, he asked me, come over and stay the night with the grandkids. I was like, no, I gotta be at my in-laws' house. In the morning, he said, I live closer to the in-laws than you do. I said, looky here. Have the grandkids come to my house. And he said, the grandkids don't want to come to your house, Mom, you're boring. I said, nobody said I wasn't, but I don't want to stay at your house either. So they just didn't come. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Interesting listening to him. Yeah, y'all sum up. He's good at what he does. Let's do it tomorrow night and discuss court. I would love to. I would love to. So, since we're not going to do that, let me just put this out. What's coming up in some of our lives in the next couple of days. Tomorrow we will be back in court with Brian Koberger. So I heard through people in chat tonight that are in the know that the Koberger family, or at least the parents, will be in court. The Gonsalves family will be in court, and so will the Chapin family. We will be going live tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. I need to change it, I think, on my thumbnail because I got it wrong. Their time is 1:30, so my Idaho time, it'll be 1:30 that they're in court. Am I right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. My time, which is Eastern Standard Time here in good old Indiana, is going to be 11. No, that would be wrong. That's wrong. Can somebody correct me? I think they're going to court tomorrow at 11:30. My time, it'll be 1:30. Am I right for that? Will somebody do some checking for me while I thank everybody for being here? Whatever the time they're going, they will be in court. I will be, you thought 11 Mountain Time. Okay, thank you, PKC. You thought it was 11 Central, 12 Central. So we've got 11 Central, 12 Central. Regardless of whatever it is, if everybody finds out, Indiana Fever just won the Commissioner's Cup. Way to go. Not that I follow it. Great lively. Thank you so much. Idaho is 1 hour different from me, which makes it it's 2 hours different from me. I will be going live an hour prior to court. So I'll check in on it as soon as I leave here. I'll fix the thumbnail. Make sure your bells are turned on so you don't miss a thing. You don't miss a thing. Donnie, it's so good to see you, honey. Thank you for coming in. Basketball, women's basketball, boring as hell. I can't do it. And I can't even watch guys basketball. I like college basketball a little bit, but I'd much rather if the guys would just start wearing tighter pants. I appreciate the NFL and college football for that. But anyways, so tomorrow we will be live, and we will be live with the court hearing tomorrow, and hopefully see some key players that we haven't seen in there yet. And then in the next couple of days, depending on what's going on with Koberger, what goes on tomorrow at the hearing, we will plan accordingly with that. And also, I'm going to be scheduling 2 lives for to check out my thrift shopping, my thrift hauls. You guys, I've got 2 thrift hauls here, and I've been waiting to get in one of them. And then Koberger happened, and I was like, put the brakes on, because right now this is more important. So we'll be doing some unboxing together. of the thrift hauls that I've got, and I would love for you guys to join that. Those will probably be later on in the evening time. But I'll keep you updated. There's a community post up right now with 3 questions that I asked. If you guys don't mind jumping over to the community post and just answer the 3 questions so that we can talk about it before trial tomorrow. Not trial. We're not going to trial. Before the hearing tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so much. You guys mean so much to me. Thank you to Gage, who came up and full of information, a snot full. Nina, thank you so much. I appreciate you and everybody for being here. Thank you to the members who helped pay for StreamYard around here. That's important to me. Thank you to those that hung out in the naked bushes all night. Listen, without you, I don't have a channel. And to the maddest mods around. You guys rock the Casbah, and I appreciate you. Love you guys so much. Take care. Be good or be good at it. If you can't be good at it, you know what to do. Turn on them videos and send it to According to Leanie because I need content. Y'all have a great night. Bye.